What's up, basketball fans? Welcome into NBA Now from Chat Sports. I'm your host, Jae Crowder, breaking down all the latest news and rumors going around the association. And we're starting out in Lakerland. This one about J.R. Smith. The former Cleveland Cavalier is reportedly set to get a workout with the Los Angeles Lakers here in the very near future. Now, the last time we saw J.R. Smith, he was with the Cleveland Cavaliers, but he was waived this past summer. They got off his contract. He's not there anymore. They weren't really going to use him as they were tanking. Now, the Lakers did say, and the reports are coming out, that there's no guarantee that he's going to be signed by Los Angeles, but they said, hey, we'll bring him in, see what he can still do, and, maybe we'll use him and bring him on board because, look, the Lakers don't have a lot of trade pieces. They don't have a lot of assets to give up outside of Kyle Kuzma, so signing a guy like J.R. Smith could make some sense. Now, the last time we saw him and in his career, he's really had a great career. He's been averaging 12.5 points per game, 3 boards, 2 assists, historically a good three-point shooter at 37.3%. That dipped a little bit because he was on such a bad Cavs team, but now he's on the, in the free agent market, just waiting to get picked up. We know he's been working out. Now, why does this make sense for the Lakers? Well, they have some wings, they have some shooting guards, but really this is their depth. They've got Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Danny Green, Alex Caruso, who they've been playing at the 2 guard, Troy Daniels, who's a good shooter but doesn't get that much run, and then Talen Horton-Tucker, who's one of the youngest players in the NBA. He's spending some time in the G League as he should. Danny Green's been a bit of a letdown. KCP has definitely stepped his play up as of late, and Alex Caruso is good, but he's more of, in a point guard's body. He's not so much a shooting guard as I would consider him. Now, what they're rolling out right now, they got Avery Bradley, Danny Green, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Dwight Howard while JaVale McGee is hurt at least, and Dwight's doing a great job in that starting role. Now, let's say they sign J.R. Smith. I don't expect him to come in and start over Danny Green or start over Avery Bradley, but that is a consistent guy. Well, he's a bit of a streaky shooter, but it's a consistent veteran that could come in off the bench, get you a couple quick buckets, and then do his job, and that's it. Now, let's say the Lakers absolutely need to make a move. They don't want to make a trade. What other free agents could they be looking at? Some free agent shooting guards, that is. Now, J.R. Smith is at the top of this list. I'll keep him there. I've got Jamal Crawford in there as well. Let's say they want a bucket getter. That's all Jamal Crawford's ever been. He can make some sense for the Lakers, but I don't see them going that route. Maybe they want the experienced veteran type. Well, hey, Joe Johnson just got picked up by the Pistons, but he got cut because the Pistons went with Christian Wood, and that's obviously been a great choice. Christian Wood has been great in Detroit this year. And then Iman Shumpert, he got signed by the Brooklyn Nets earlier this year, and he didn't do that great, but he did his job while Wilson Chandler was on a suspension. So let's say the Lakers need a 2 guard. They don't want to make a trade. These are 4 options that they could definitely look at, and we know for a fact that J.R. Smith is at least getting a workout with the Los Angeles Lakers. So here's a question for you before we go into a little YouTube ad break here. Will the Lakers make a trade, or will they just simply sign a free agent? If you think it's going to be a trade, type T for trade. If you think it's going to be S, they're going to sign a free agent that's out there like a Jamal Crawford, like a J.R. Smith, type S for sign in the comment section below. Now sit through while we get through this YouTube ad break. Now let's go over to Houston because, and this is probably the cheesiest thing I've ever said on this show, but Houston, we have a problem at the wing position because, look, the Rockets, they need a wing, and they don't have one right now. They've got a lot of players. They got a lot of guards. They got some good offense in their starting 5. But, man, that wing depth is desperately lacking in Houston. When you look at the wings they do have or who they're playing at that small forward / 2 guard position besides James Harden, you got Eric Gordon, who just dropped a 50 piece, which, came as a surprise to everybody. Ben McLemore has been really good this year for them, a nice little reclamation project, but how much can you depend on him in the playoffs? Thabo Sefolosha wearing his Air Maxes on the court. I've always found that interesting, but Sefolosha isn't giving you much at this point in his career. Now, these last 2 names, I promise they're real people. I didn't just make them up. William Howard is a rookie that doesn't get any run in Houston. And then Michael Frazier, who I actually liked coming out of the draft, another guy who is a rookie, but he's not playing either. He's in the G League. You can't count on William Howard and Michael Frazier to come in and give you real minutes in the NBA playoffs. So now the Rockets are like, all right, what the heck are we going to do at the wing spot? Because this is their starting 5. They go Russell Westbrook, James Harden when he's back and healthy, Eric Gordon now that he is back and healthy, PJ Tucker, who really guards the best wing on the other team, even though he's a power forward, and then Clint Capella, of course, at the 5 position. Look at that lineup. Who is going to guard a guy like LeBron James besides PJ Tucker? Who's going to guard a Paul George and a Kawhi Leonard in the NBA playoffs? Yeah, PJ Tucker can get one of those guys, but what happens when you got to guard both of them? You don't have another wing. Eric Gordon's too small for that. James Harden's not a great defender. Russell Westbrook's got to be guarding the point guard. So the Rockets need a wing. Well, who are they going to look at? These are the names that I've come up with, guys that I think are on the trade market and guys that realistically could find their way in a new home, to a new home after the trade deadline or at the trade deadline. Robert Covington. We've talked about him a lot on this show. I know Harrison Graham talked about him on guys that could be traded, and he makes a lot of sense. From Minnesota, they're looking to move him. Well, at least people are calling about him, but the Rockets apparently have backed off their interest in Robert Covington. Jae Crowder of the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm going to go deeper in on him and just talk about him a little bit more here in a minute. Bogdanovich of the Sacramento Kings. I think he could be moved, but I don't think that's the kind of player the Rockets are looking for. Another scoring guard. They're looking for more of a wing defender. Malik Monk of the Charlotte Hornets. I like him. I think he could actually benefit from moving on and finding a new team this year. But again, that's another guy that's a two guard. They don't really need that. And then DeMar DeRozan of the San Antonio Spurs. A good defender, a good finisher around the rim, but a guy that needs the ball in his hands and a guy that, you got to put into the starting five, but does it really make sense with Russ and James Harden? I don't know. And also, let's be honest, the Rockets don't have the pieces to get a DeMar DeRozan or even a Bogdanovich. I don't even think they have the pieces to get a Robert Covington. So who do they go for? Jae Crowder of the Memphis Grizzlies. Look, I've always been a big Jae Crowder fan. First of all, he's got my initials. Second of all, his last name is almost my last name. It's just got a D instead of a TH. Not important. Anyway, great rebounder, great energy guy off the bench. I'm not sure if the Memphis Grizzlies are going to look to move him because now they're in the hunt for the 8 spot, which I never expected. But this year he's averaging 9.8 points per game, 6.2 rebounds, nearly 3 assists, even though that's not what he does. And the 3-point percentage hasn't been great this year. He's only shooting 29.2%. But, on a team that has a James Harden, you don't need a guy like Crowder to come in and be a knockdown shooter. But if he's open, he's going to make a 3-pointer. So I think Jae Crowder could make a lot of sense for the Houston Rockets this year at the deadline. Now, NBA fans, I know it's we're in full swing of the NBA season, but the Super Bowl is coming up. And if you want to make some money by watching the Super Bowl and placing some bets, there's no better place to go than chatsports.com/bet and check out our ad sponsors at BetDSI. Now, of course, Kansas City Chiefs, San Francisco 49ers are about to go at it. The Chiefs right now are currently sitting at 1.5-point favorites, and the over-under is at 54.5. Now, if you feel like you know better than the odd makers, go to BetDSI, chatsports.com/bet. Use the promo code NBA120, and then make your first bet. I'm putting my money on the Kansas City Chiefs. Big Patrick Mahomes fan. I think they're going to pull it out this year. Go check out BetDSI. Now let's talk about Danilo Gallinari. I've talked about him a lot when I'm talking about the Mavs. As you all know, the Dallas Mavericks are interested in him, as I reported on my latest Mavs show. But also, another team that's showing interest is the Philadelphia 76ers, and I think that makes a lot of sense. Now, Gallo's owed $22 million this year, but then he's going to hit the free agent market. And this year he's putting up big numbers for the Thunder. He's averaging 19 points per game, nearly 6 boards, and he's shooting 41.4% from 3. He is an elite shooter. Absolutely. I love what Gallinari brings to this Thunder team. However, let's say they look to move on from him because they're just like, I don't know, we want to get the young guys some run. Gallo doesn't need to be here anymore. I think the team that's going to be calling the most is the Philadelphia 76ers because they don't have a lot of shooters. They got Josh Richardson. They got Tobias Harris. They're great shooters, absolutely. But when you got Ben Simmons, who's got to be in the paint, and you got Joel Embiid, who should be in the paint, you need another shooter. And Danilo Gallinari absolutely fits that bill at a 41% clip. But here is the problem. The 76ers don't have a lot of good contracts to trade away to get a guy who's owed $22 million. So let's look at their top 5 highest paid players. Tobias Harris at $32 million. You just signed him to a max contract. You're not trading him for a guy who gives you similar things in an older body in Danilo Gallinari. Al Horford, you just signed him at $28 million. I don't think the Thunder are interested in paying Al Horford $28 million. So even if you did want to give him up for Gallo, I think the Thunder would say no. Joel Embiid, don't even have to talk about this because Embiid is one of the best, if not the best center in the NBA when he's healthy at $27 million. Josh Richardson's got a $10 million contract. That could be given up, but that's not enough. The Thunder still have to get back, the Philadelphia 76ers still have to get off of $12 million more dollars, even if they traded Richardson. And then it's Ben Simmons at $8 million on his rookie contract. You're not going to trade him, and you're especially not going to trade him to Oklahoma City, who already has guys like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chris Paul, Dennis Schroeder. So I don't know how the Philadelphia 76ers are going to pull this off. You know, you can be interested all day long, but if you don't have the money to make it work, it ain't going to happen. I don't think Gallinari is going to end up in Philadelphia, even though I think he makes a lot of sense on that team. So here's a question I got for you guys that you can comment in the comment section below and let me know what you think. This is where Chat Sports comes in. We are the most interactive channel on YouTube. So what should Oklahoma City do? Who should they trade Danilo Gallinari to? Maybe you don't think they should trade him at all. Just tell me that in the comment section below. Yeah, if I'm the Thunder, I'm holding on to him personally because they're a lock for a playoff seed, I think, at this point. But we'll see. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Now let's talk about the Lakers one more time to round out this show. They apparently declined a trade involving Derrick Rose and Alex Caruso. That's right. The Lakers turned down the offer from Detroit to get Derrick Rose to LA and to send Alex Caruso and some more things to Detroit. Now, D Rose this year has been incredible. He's back, not to his MVP form, but definitely the best he's been since that year. He's on a 2-year, $15 million contract in Detroit. He's really, if Detroit was better, he would be up for Sixth Man of the Year, but let's face it, the Pistons stink, and I hate that D Rose is kind of being wasted there, but he likes it. He's having a good time. He's putting up big numbers, so that is important. The numbers he is putting up this year: 18.8 points per game, 6 assists, 2.5 boards, 3-point shots okay at 31.1%. He makes it when it is necessary. Now, before I tell you the exact details of the trade that was declined by the Lakers, I gotta remind you to go check out chatsports.com/bet, our friends over at BetDSI. Go make some money by making bets on the Super Bowl. If you want to make real money, hint, hint, bet on the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, let's talk about this trade for just a minute. Detroit was apparently going to get Alex Caruso. Wow, that's a hard name. Alex Caruso, a salary filler, and a 2022 second round pick, because that is the next second round pick they're willing to give up. They can give up. And the salary filler, I think, because it actually makes the salary work, is Quinn Cook. I think they probably would have given up Quinn Cook, and the Lakers just straight up get Derrick Rose. But the Lakers said, nope, we like Alex Caruso's money, or we like Alex Caruso's defensive ability too much. It doesn't make sense for us. And, Caruso has been good this year. He's a consistent spark off the bench. Offensively, he doesn't bring you a ton, except a few dunks here and there, and a pretty good three-point shooter, but defensively, he's been really good. I enjoy watching Caruso on the defensive end. He's averaging 5.5 points per game, 1.8 assists, and 1.9 boards, and he is shooting 34.6% from three. But really, I think the main reason that this trade was declined is because LeBron James doesn't feel like anything else needs to be done for the Lakers. Now, Dave McMahon tweeted this out. He said LeBron was asked if the Lakers are, quote, one piece away from cementing their championship contender status. LeBron's answer was both confident and savvy, preserving team chemistry by not suggesting weakness. He said, LeBron says, we have enough right now. And I agree with LeBron. Look, if you've got Bron and AD, that's 2 top 5 players in the league. You don't need any more. And heck, you could say every team in the league is one piece away from being a championship contender, You put LeBron or you put the right player on the right team, anyone could be in a championship conversation, but that's just not how it works. And it doesn't work here because the Lakers don't have a lot to give up. And I don't think Derrick Rose is that one piece anyway. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Here's how we're going to end today's show. Do you think the Lakers should have said yes to this trade offer from the Detroit Pistons to get Derrick Rose to Los Angeles? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I'll give you my opinions once you put that Y or no in the comment section below.